Hi everyone, welcome back to the weekly reading. It's been a while. I've been sick for the last few weeks. I posted on Facebook about it. I'm good now, thank goodness. And I opened my shop last week, so if you'd like to book a private reading with me, or an astrology consultation, or a mixture of both astrology, tarot, psychic reading, that sort of thing, go to my shop, which the link will be below the video. So this is for the 12th to the 18th of August, everyone. This is the astrology, first of all, and then I'm going to do a pick a card for you. So I'll just quickly show you. There are 3 piles today, so it's 1, 2, or 3. I've got, these are the decks that I'm using: the Cosmic Tarot, the Numerology Oracle Guidance cards, and the Oracle of the Unicorn. So 1, 2, or 3. See which one you're drawn to. You can go by the number or visually which one you were drawn to. I'll show them again in a minute. But I'm going to talk about the astrology this week, which, by the way, is very, very interesting. There is a huge shift going on this week with Jupiter going direct. So this is going to really, in particular, affect you very, very positively. If you're a Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising, or even have Venus or Mars in Sagittarius, you're going to feel that push forward this week. It's from today. So Monday here in Sydney, Australia, and if you're in the US, it's probably energy, you feel it more tomorrow. But it's definitely, you know, a very positive thing to report astrologically that Jupiter is going direct. You know, it's been retrograde for a while, so when Jupiter goes retrograde, we feel sort of like life is a little bit on hold in some way, or that things just can't fully kind of bloom or come to fruition in the way that we hope they can. But now with Jupiter direct, there is more positivity in the air. Also, the way that Jupiter going direct helps you is you might feel a sense of faith renewed now, like optimism starting to come back. Okay, so you know, you do have to keep in mind though, it's stationing on 15 degrees of Sagittarius, 14-15 degrees for a little bit. So, you know, it can take, you know, a little while for it to really kick into gear, but you will definitely feel more of your positivity coming back, a feeling of hope coming back. You know, like there's opportunities around you as well. So it's very good energy, and it also just gives you a bit more of it should perk up your energy a little bit more. Okay, so what was the other thing? And Mercury, the planet of communication, this week also moves out of Cancer, which is good, into Leo. So Mercury in Leo is more heart-centered communication, more honest and open communication. It can be a bit more blunt, a bit more sort of straight shooting kind of energy than Mercury in Cancer is a bit more skirting around the edges of emotions and not kind of knowing how to be straightforward. But with Mercury in Leo, we're more straightforward and more bold in our communications, more willing to take a bit of a risk in our communications, you know, not like a crazy risk, but maybe more of a heart-centered, yeah, I'm going to follow my heart with this. I'm going to follow my heart in this direction, or with this communication. I'm just going to be honest because that's what I feel is right. The other thing that's really interesting that's happening this week, which is, I don't know, you don't see this too often, is the Sun and Venus lining up in Leo. Excuse me, I've got to turn this incense off because it's getting a bit smoky in the room now, and the door closed as well. So yeah, what was I saying? Venus and Sun conjunction in Leo. That's very idealistic. That's very good for love. Love matters. Might make us feel a little bit lazy. This is going for the whole week and a little bit into next week. 7 to 10 days, I think it is, roughly. Probably, it's actually, it goes further than 7 days, so it's around 10 days, I think. But it's a good energy for love, and it's a good energy for being a little bit self-indulgent, especially if you've been holding yourself back, or if you've been, you know, really strict with yourself, or really holding yourself back in some way, whether it's in heart matters, you know, romance, or even in creativity, in creative matters. You know, this energy can open up your creativity as well. It can make you feel more expressive in the way you express yourself in any way, the way you dress, the way you create in your life, with art, with anything to do with creative projects is very positive for this. As I said, the only downside is you can be a little bit, not so much, well, maybe a little bit passive, because Leo energy with the Sun and Venus together can be a little bit sort of, you know, imagine a lion kind of lazing in the sun, that kind of thing. But it is fire energy, so it is very passionate energy. So I feel like it's more to do with love and romance and creativity in general. But it's very nice energy this week for that. The other thing going on is Uranus is going retrograde also from today. So you know, it's going to be a little bit different for each sign with Uranus retrograde, how it affects you personally. But for most people, it kind of is, especially if you've got strong Aquarius energy or Taurus, because Uranus is in Taurus, you might feel a bit of the edge taken off of the mental energy. Like you might feel just a little bit more peaceful. Not everyone's going to feel that, but definitely Taurians and what's it saying? Aquarians, because they're ruled by Uranus, will feel this. The only Taurians that might struggle with this are the ones that are very early born Taurus, because the retrograde is going to come back to your placement. So it's going to be stirring up your life a little bit with changes. But so there's that as well. I'm just trying to think what else. There's something else I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, with Jupiter direct in Sagittarius, it's also good for the fire signs. So not just Sagittarians, but Aries and Leo. So if you have those placements, Jupiter direct is going to help push your life forward, help some momentum start again if you felt blocked, you know, in the recent months. Also, it's good for travel with Jupiter direct. So if you've been wanting to travel or take a trip or go on an adventure, but just in general for forward movement and opportunities in your life, Jupiter direct is very positive. So that's the main stuff. Like, it's very significant with Jupiter going direct this week. And also I wanted to mention just one other thing. If you're a Capricorn, you guys will have to wait till around September 18th to 20th for Saturn to go direct, which is your ruling planet. So for Capricorns, you might feel a little bit on the back foot at the moment, or a little bit held back, or a little bit stuck, or like, oh, I was trying to move forward and then something happened, and I'm, you know, like that type of energy, and it makes you feel more tired when your ruling planet is retrograde. But the direct of Saturn, as I said, September 18th, you'll start to feel better, Capricorns, okay? I think that's all I had for the astrology this week. I don't talk about every detail with the astrology. I sort of pick up on what stands out to me as most significant. So anyway, let's look at the cards again. So as I said, 1, 2, or 3. See what you're drawn to. Let's go with 1. What have we got? All right. Oh, 3 of Cups. Nice. So this is the Cosmic Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. The 3 of Cups is a really positive card. It's a card of get-togethers, happy times, social interaction, catching up with friends. Just, it can be celebration as well. For some people, it can be like being invited to a wedding or invited to a party, or, you know, someone's birthday or whatever, you know, or even just going out to dinner with friends. It can be just an invitation, or just catching up with friends in general. Self-love, interesting. Oh, and prosperity. These are nice cards, so I really like this. The prosperity card goes very much with the 3 of Cups, because it's this feeling of abundance. Like, you know, it can be material abundance, or it can be the abundance of feeling like you've got a lot of love in your life, that you've got a lot of friendship connections. And even if you don't have a lot of friends, you might have just 1 or 2 or 3 key friends that just bring a lot of joy and happiness and connection to your life. Prosperity card says, a gift of money is on its way. Your income is increasing. Manage your finances with love. Interesting. And then we have self-love. So even though for the people that chose number 1, there may be some social interaction and some, excuse me, some good things happening in your life. But this self-love card is reminding you to remember love for yourself, not to sort of just always project your energy outward to others and try to overgive to others all the time, because you might be quite a generous or empathic person. But to also remember to give to yourself and, you know, nurture yourself and do what feels right for you. Like, have boundaries in place for yourself so that you don't get drained. So if people are, say, inviting you to a lot of things, because you've got the 3 of Cups in this reading, you might have to choose, you know, out of several of them, or 1 or 2 things, and think, well, I prefer to go to this. I can't do all of them because I'm too busy. I need to look after myself as well. Or if people are demanding a lot from you, to sort of, you know what your boundaries are so that you don't become drained, because it is 6 + 1 is 7 in numerology, which 7 relates to spiritual life lessons. So this is something to do with a spiritual life lesson for you to do with self-love this week. So there could, even though these are very, very good cards, there could be something where you just need to draw a line with a friendship, or somebody that, you know, reaches out to you, maybe even wanting your support in some way, or your help in some way. That's also another thing I could read out of that as well. All right, so let's look at those that chose pile number 2 for this week. Ooh, Ace of Swords, that's good. Parenting, interesting, and trust. Okay. Right, so the Ace of Swords card comes up as clarity, mental clarity, and also something to do with making a decision, or getting clarity around a decision, feeling more mentally clear about things. It's quite a good card. It can also signify a new beginning. Through communications comes a new beginning of some kind for you this week if you chose this pile. The trust card is saying, you know, trust in your intuition, because the Ace of Swords is saying you're getting mental clarity this week. You need to trust this. It's also saying leap into the unknown. Have faith and move forward. Perfect for Jupiter going direct. Believe you will fly. So this is about having faith at this time, which really relates, as I said, to the Jupiter direct. So it is time to have faith. Now, it's not time to be mistrusting. It's time to listen to your intuition and go on that, and go with opportunities and the connection and the synchronicity that comes out of listening to your intuition. And there is something about communications here. I'm getting the word telepathy, so there could be something telepathic that you're picking up off of someone, or you are sensing something mentally that's going to happen. You could be having precognition or just a knowing of something that might be coming up, like you may be something to, I feel like for some people or for someone it's something to do with a friendship connection. Like there's an element of, I'm also getting, like you're getting a heads up about things to do with friendship as well. I'm not sure what that means, but that's for someone out there. Parenting comes up. Okay, so this is either, it depends, you know, so many people might be watching and these are general readings. So it could be something to do with either you are yourself a parent, or there's something to do with parenting issues around you if you're not a parent. Someone you know that has a child, or there's a child around you in some way that could be there could be some issue, but you need to have more trust in the situation and kind of detach a little bit in some way, I feel, for those people. But for other people, it's something to do with your own parents as well. So it could be a communication from a parent. And, you know, if you have a parent that is passed on, there could be spiritual communication as well. But there's something to do with, I heard the word closure there, so I don't know, that could be for somebody, just one person. Something to do with closure, to do with a parent, okay? But there is new communication coming through and trust. And as I said, if you're a parent, there could be an issue with a child around you, or something that comes up where you need to have more trust and communication with a child, okay? Pile number 3, intention, karmic completion. Oh, this is very different energy. Queen of Swords. Okay, so, wow, this is kind of powerful here. The Queen of Swords is interesting. You know, in the background of this card, you see a couple there, like lovers there in the background. So you might be feeling something of, to do with your relationships or a romantic connection, or, you know, a spouse or a partner or someone. You might be feeling a bit more kind of logical about things, like detaching. You know, I see Gemini here on her clothing there. There's the symbol of Gemini, the glyph. And so Gemini is, and obviously the Queen of Swords relates to the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. But what I'm getting here, and I'm really drawn to this, there's a lot of information coming through, sorry, so I'm getting a lot. Excuse me. The dove there is getting my attention as well. The dove represents peace, and Gemini represents logic. The Queen of Swords also represents a woman who is, you know, pretty switched on and savvy about things. And what I'm getting here is it's sort of time to sort of pull your energy back just that little bit in regards to a love relationship, a relationship in general that's someone close to you or someone that you're attracted to. It's time to be a little bit more logical and a little bit less emotionally over the top about it. Being less dramatic is what I'm getting. So if in the past you've been a bit too forceful or pushy or trying to make things or force things to happen in love, which never works, it's saying to pull your energy back. And for some people, it's not just love, it's about connections in general with people. So trying to realize that, or not trying to realize, realizing that when you're trying to do too much or you're trying to be forceful with people, it always backfires. It doesn't tend to work. So it's better sometimes to just take a bit of a sort of a step back from being too much in the expectation mode with others, and just going, okay, well, I'm just going to hang back and do my own thing. The Queen of Swords is someone who just does her own thing, and she's not too reliant on other people. So it's about self-sufficiency I'm getting there. Now, interesting with these other cards, karmic completion is interesting. So for some people, there is a relationship wrapping up in a particular cycle that it's in at this time, and you're kind of detaching from it in some way, but that doesn't mean that it's fully ending forever. It just might be this cycle is ending. For some people, you know, there are endings in relationships. if you chose this. Intention, be clear and decisive. Focus on what you really want. Be bold with your requests to the universe. So it's time not so much to focus on other people, but it's more time to focus on what you want for yourself, which really relates to this card. And really working on your own manifestations and bringing in, you know, what you want out of your life for your own career, for your own path, for your own self, rather than overly focusing this week on your relationships. That's what I'm getting for those people. Sorry about that. All right, so those were the reading. Those were the big card messages this week. Thank you so much, everyone. And if, as I said, if you'd like a personal reading, click on the link below to my online store where you can book with me. It's 5 to 12 business days at the moment, unless you pick an urgent reading, which is 24 to 48 hour turnaround time. Thanks, guys, and have a fantastic week. I think it's going to be a great week with Jupiter direct. I'm so excited about that. Thank you. Bye.